Welcome to the good ride.
Step right up to the elevated step up. 5-4. Whoa!
And there you have it. We rode this with Union Atlas, Union Stratas, Adidas Tactical ADVs.
Got some classic combo.
Got some good groomers. And to give you a short summary, this is reverse taper. We tried reverse camber 12 years ago, whatever.
Yeah.
When it first came out. Things keep changing. We tried reverse side cuts. But now, here is reverse taper.
This guy did not skip leg day once. Hasn't done a single pull-up in his life. Don't even know what a push-up is. All legs, all day.
And this is what you need to do to get on this board. It's just different. I mean, literally, It's so hard to describe what this is. Just different than anything I've ever tried.
I've never in my life been on any board that reminded me of this board.
The positives of this is it's different, it's weird, it's fun. The negatives are you could, maybe not have as much fun as you would on, let's say, like the red-tailed hawk or the goldfish first day.
Yeah.
This might take you a couple days, it might take you 10 days.
Or it might not be your style.
Yeah, right? And then after all that, it might not be your style. So it could cut into your precious riding time, because a lot of people don't have like a whole year to go up, can take a couple weeks riding this thing, and so those are the drawbacks. But I think if I have some friends who've ridden these for a good amount of time, and they kind of getting into them, but it takes a while.
I got to ride it for 2 days, and I'm kind of getting into it. It's like when you have that friend, that like shaper friend who like shapes surfboards, and then they just start making weird. Okay, I've got a few friends, and they just start making weird boards, not making your traditional boards. And do they ride necessarily better or worse? I don't know, but they're definitely weird shapes. They got those like weird rabbit's foots, and people are starting to ride on freaking finless, weird like planks of wood now. It's all the rage. Yeah.
Cool.
People get weird out there, man.
Let's get into sizing. This step up was the right step up from the shortboard. The shortboard felt a little too small.
Yeah.
A little too off for us. This felt more correct for us, but maybe a touch too big. And this felt a touch too small.
Which there's something like a great size for me.
It felt, it was just leaning on the back. It felt like too much board off the back. Felt just right off the front.
So, that's like that.
Just too much party in the back of this mullet.
Well, that's the whole thing about this reverse taper is that because of its shape, for me, when I leaned in the back, it felt like the nose just like released its edge, Yeah. And so, to me, it didn't feel like I could drive off the back foot of this at all. Yeah,
and it has a little mellow camber going to some early rise, it seems like. But that on snow feel, just the way this board turns, doesn't skid turns easily off the back foot. You really have to lean forward.
Yep.
And it can be tricky, and you can see just how it feels a bit too hooky, especially compared to the step up. The shortboard, not the step up. The step up felt too hooky off the tail. But again, we were just getting to know it.
This thing did have to put on the red light.
Nice, Roxanne. Yeah.
Yeah, it
nice
felt
sting.
hooky. It definitely has this like weird, especially when you lean back, super weird feeling.
Are you not sting, you're just ping?
Yeah. But when
he's just hitting you to see if you're there.
Yeah, but when you completely switch up your riding style, and I started just riding, as I said before on the other board, one of the few boards I ever got to the bottom of the run, and my front leg was the one that was burning super hard, and not my back leg. But that allowed for these just very, very interesting carves and turns down the mountain.
It was so front foot heavy for me to get it to work. That was the only way I could see it working. It was weird when I threw it around switch. It was okay.
No,
I liked it.
Not like these boards.
I felt more comfortable switch.
But overall, like Where do you want to go? Do you want to talk about the flex right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very unconventional review.
soft.
It's very
I
hard.
know.
It's like
hard to go
you
down
go
our
all
list.
over the place with this thing, and that's what we did with the shortboard. And I couldn't really find a way to tie it all together. But yeah, I mean, just a medium flex, I could butter off the tail, but then I was just so afraid of those.
So uncomfortable when you
I
are
was
buttering.
afraid of that flared out
Yeah.
reverse taper.
The pop feels weird because of the way you have to kind of land in the board. Although I can see a really expert rider kind of just having an absolute flippin' blast with this thing.
Yeah, there's
in such a
medium
weird-
to upper, like kind of a rubbery pop to it.
Yeah.
And the space like had good glide, I guess. You know, it just
Yeah.
nothing amazing, nothing bad.
Yeah. Uneven terrain, I don't like it at all in uneven
No,
terrain.
it would
Once you
just-
start getting into the choppy snow, or if you have to make like tight, like really technical turns on this thing, it's gonna feel super weird. This board to me is definitely in perfect groomers and or like relatively incredible snow condition board.
Yeah. I didn't like bumps, but I felt like it could handle micro chatter, like some of that bumpy snow. It didn't feel too chattery. It had that little bit of that rubbery thing.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, like, you know, like the edge hold is fine, but turning and carving and like doing quick turns through bumps and stuff, no thanks.
No.
I don't understand the board well enough to take it out of my comfort level. I love bumps when I'm on a nice, super quick turning, not too long, not too short board that can just, because I'm not a hammer, you know, diagonal hammer through the bump kind of guy. I like to just turn through the whole thing. And those are super fun for me. It puts me in my element. Like if I was on a goldfish, that'd be a good time. But on this, I just didn't understand it. So that'll take some time.
Yeah. Turn initiation's pretty slow, and it's almost all in your front foot,
Yeah.
which is going to feel weird to a lot of people. You're going to start working that front ankle. that
Even it
front
out
foot.
finally.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. Carving, I liked carving on this thing. Despite it being different,
I had to carve way differently.
way differently.
Anything
I don't know if we've said
past
that before.
centered. Yeah, anything past centered just accelerated. Like it had a weird kind of hooky.
Yep.
Like it was like a motorcycle just went on a wheelie.
Yep. Yeah, if you tried to, especially because of how easy the flex is, if you like leaned back and tried to do this churn, you could definitely feel yourself doing that full wheelie, that hook would just
Yeah.
like grab the mountain and just
It's just the end of that side cut is so different.
yeah.
And I think there's a way to use it. We just didn't figure out how to. And again, you know, just overall, I mean, let's just get to it.
Yeah.
That's the hard thing. If you're up for a challenge, if you're up for something different and weird and fun, once you get used to it, this could be a good time. But
Yep.
for a lot of people, you might have the time or patience to want to do it. And if so, then take a look at the Goldfish and the Red-tail Hawk, which were really fun, really recommendable boards. They're very traditional in the sense of like the old school kind of surf style, free ride, alternative free ride, whatever the hell you want to call it. Those really had a lot of appeal to me and just were right there with some of our favorites. And so I would say go that way, but if you're up for something different, like if you're feeling James, go Goldfish and go Red-tail Hawk. If you're feeling Peter, step it up.
See, I like to try like weird things, you know, that just kind of throw me out of my element and this board was just so different and weird that I can't compare it to other boards. I had such a fun time churning on this board. Maybe I wasn't churning as good as I would on other boards, you know, technically, or like be making as hard of carves or be able to go through certain terrain like I would. But the terrain when I was going through, when I was hitting these big berms and just like driving super hard off my front foot and making these long, slow carves, it reminded me of being on my step-up surfboard and having just this, you know, much, I don't know, it's just such a different, weird experience. I personally really liked it and would love to have more time on this board.